everybody. Welcome to Three Keys to a Profitable Online Holistic Business. And I'd like to welcome you all. And who here is ready to learn how to create your profitable online holistic business? Raise your hands. Yay! All right. And who here is ready to learn how to attract your soul aligned clients? Raise your hand. Yay. So, what I'd like to do is I'd like to start with everybody taking a deep breath and really breathe and feel the energy of the light and feel your whole being filling up with light. And if everybody could mute themselves, thank you. And feel your feet on the floor, breathing in. And if you like, close your eyes. If not, that's fine. And really tune into your heart right now. And allow yourself to tune into your heart and ask your soul, what is it that you would like your intention to receive for this time together? And breathe. Okay. And Allie, please start the slides. Okay. So if you've come to Three Keys to a Profitable Online Holistic Business, you're in the right place. And next. And what I want you to know is that what we're going to be talking about today is not only developing your profitable online holistic business, but being able to do that helps you step into your authority so that you can lead, speak, and attract your soul aligned clients and opportunities in order to create that profitable online holistic business. Next. And what I invite you today is, you may know some of this, you may know all of it, you may have an awareness, but what I invite you today is to have beginner's mind, because when you have beginner's mind, you open to new possibilities and insights. Next. And today, you're going to learn how to discover how your mindset, your strategy, and structure creates it so that you can step into your authority. And when you step into your authority, you attract those soul aligned clients, increase your income, and create that thriving holistic online business. And we're going to be talking today about my Soul Advantage system. And we'll be talking about the confidence, which is the foundation, the mindset that is needed in order for you to create that profitable online business. And then we're going to talk about clarity, and which creates the structure for this business. And having that consistency is the clarity is the strategy, and the consistency is the structure. And what ends up being the result is your authority. And when mindset, strategy, and structure combine, your authority becomes the natural result. And So you can stop the slides, please. And what I'd like to find out is how many of you, raise your hands, that would like to grow your holistic business, but stay true to your soul and avoid the burnout. Raise your hand. All right. And before we dive into more, I want to share my story because it's the reason I understand where you are. And so I am so grateful for the life and the business that I've created. I've been a licensed clinical social worker for over 30 years. I am a certified hypnotherapist and a certified intuitive business coach and consultant. And I've had the privilege of helping thousands of people through the years. And what I love to do is combine my counseling, coaching, and intuitive abilities to help my clients transform their lives, their mindsets, so that they can build their soul aligned businesses. But it wasn't always this way. There was a time where I had a full time holistic psychotherapy practice. And on the outside, I looked successful. But on the inside, something just wasn't feeling right. I knew that I needed to change things. And then, after a situation with one particularly challenging client, I started feeling really frustrated, overwhelmed, and honestly done with being a therapist. And yet, at the same time, I could still feel that my soul was calling me for more. And I knew that I needed that change and to follow my soul's calling. And put a yes in the chat if you can feel that pull, that you feel your soul is calling you for something more. And I see the yeses coming in. And then one day, I was sitting on my couch with my head in my hands and feeling my whole body was this in fear. I was feeling uncertain and I was questioning what was next for me. I was being guided to meditate and clear my energy. And so after the meditation, I got the intuitive hit to go to my email. And in my email, I saw there was a woman who was offering a free virtual workshop. And so I signed up for the workshop. And during the workshop, she offered her program. And I felt this deep inner knowing. And I knew, like I said before, I was being called to something more, something bigger. But I was really scared. But I also knew that if I didn't say yes, that I would be out of alignment with myself. And so I made the decision to trust my guidance, to trust my soul. And I took the next step and signed up for her program. And then everything began to shift. And I continued to do the deep inner work and the clearing. I continued to connect more fully with my soul and my mission. And I'm so grateful that I found the courage to say yes to my mentor, yes to my path, and yes to my soul. And what happened, what came through was confidence. I began to trust myself at a whole new level. And then clarity developed, and I started to know the direction that I was meant to go. And then consistency. And I found through the program and through all the work that I've been doing, the ability to get the support and the structure that I needed to grow my business. And because of that, my business has continued to grow and expand. Not perfectly, but powerfully. And now I'm here for you to support you, whether you are growing your business and taking it to the next levels, whether you're starting something new or you're ready to pivot to something more aligned or add to something more in your practice so that you can trust your intuition, make aligned decisions, and create a thriving, successful, soul aligned, holistic business. And what I learned through my journey is now what I teach my clients and what I'll be sharing with you today. And again, I'd like to welcome, and I saw, yes, Marissa, amazing when we receive those promptings and knowing exactly what we need. No coincidence. Yeah, trust. Trust is key. Okay, Allie, you could start the slides. Okay. We're going to be getting to that more shortly, Lisa. Okay, next. So I'm sharing this slide because what has happened through the years is as I've grown, I've developed more of the authority. This is my TV show and podcast, Inspired and Empowered Living, for a thriving business and life. And every month, over 19,000 people tune in to listen, learn, and grow. And I'm sharing this with you because what I want you to know is that this is what can become possible for you when you step into your authority and when you trust your voice and show up and get clear on your message, and then you show up consistently. And what happens is people start listening, they start following, and they start seeing you as the go to expert. But it didn't start here. It grew because I've been doing the inner work, and then I've aligned the strategy, the structure, so that I can consistently show up. And this is exactly what I want for you: to be seen, to be heard, and trusted in your own unique way, because your voice matters. And there are people right now who are waiting to hear from you. Next. And this is some of the places where I show up. Next. Okay, so the first key that we're going to be talking about is confidence. And confidence is about releasing the fear, the self-doubt, that and the sabotage so that you can trust yourself more fully, more completely, and learn how to be more visible so that you can confidently grow your business. And so let's go deeper into confidence next. So what happens, and remember I said mindset is the foundation, because without mindset, nothing else ends up happening. You can do all the strategy, all the structure, but if you don't have the mindset, it doesn't work. And so what ends up happening without the confidence, you can go into the overthinking or the self-doubt or the hiding or the undercharging or the staying stuck. And then what happens is as you develop the confidence, and again, the confidence, and we're going to go into this because I know I saw Lisa put something in and Marissa, and we're going to go deeper into how to do that. And with confidence, you can show up more clearly and more confidently with your visibility. What happens with confidence is you make those clear decisions coming from your intuition, trusting your intuition, and not second guessing yourself. And taking aligned action. It's following your intuition every step of the way so that you're taking the aligned action. You're setting the boundaries and you're moving forward with the growth. Put a yes in the chat if you want more confidence. All right. Yes. Okay. So next, so let's talk. Now, some of you may know about this, but I love to share my Psych 101, and I see the yeses coming in. Okay, thank you for sharing your yeses. And what I want to remind you is, first of all, you listen to your conscious mind by being here. You made a very conscious decision and showed up. So thank you, conscious mind of yours. It's the part of you that empowers you. And when you make that conscious, clear decision, that's when you empower yourself and show up. And then you have your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, the way I define it, so we're all on the same page, is your subconscious mind is the part of you from the moment that you were conceived to present time has recorded every moment that you have been alive. And your subconscious mind even includes past lives, because I'm talking about the soul level. When I talk, I'm talking about the level of your soul. And your subconscious mind includes past lives, and it also includes ancestral trauma and or ancestral resources. It can both, like your subconscious mind has both your resources and your limiting beliefs and those emotions that could block you. And what has happened is through the years, I've discovered the numbers. And some of you may know these numbers. Yep. Some of you may know the numbers, and some of you may not. But when I heard this number, I was like, OMG. I was so blown away. 95% of your behavior, your subconscious patterns, your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions are coming from your subconscious mind. So those limiting beliefs and emotions that are blocking you and those sabotaging patterns, they're all in your subconscious mind. And we're going to go a little bit deeper, so stay tuned. And then you have your superconscious mind. And the way I define your superconscious mind is your higher self. Your higher self is this wise, unconditionally loving part of you that is there for the asking. And then you have your soul. And your soul is this huge, vast light and love that is the essence of who you are. And then you have the universe, you have God, higher power, whatever you choose to call it. And you have your angels and your guides. And all of that is part. And when these three parts of your mind are aligned, that's when you come into such confidence, clarity, and create the consistency, which is part of my soul advantage system, so that you become the authority. That's what this is about. And you can next, so let's go deeper into the soul. I love talking about soul. Soul is so much fun. And your soul is the core energy essence of who you are, like I said. And it includes all your gifts from this lifetime, from other lifetimes, all the resources. It's everything that you need to fulfill your purpose and your mission in this lifetime. However, what happens is sometimes those characteristics that you end up not being able to access all of them. And that's also part of what I do when I'm working with my clients, is being able to help you to access all your gifts and resources so that you are really showing up fully and completely the confident, amazing, magnificent being you are. And I'm going to go further. The amazing, magnificent woman you are. You can go to the next slide. So, again, the Soul Advantage system, it's all about that confidence. And the confidence, it's about clearing that self doubt, the fears, the limiting beliefs, so that you're building the confidence, the self worth, and the trust in your intuition. And then there's the strategy. And the strategy, when you define your niche, when you create an offer, a marketable program, you get clear on your message and you create your own signature system. What happens is you create a clear path to attract your soul aligned clients. And then it's learning to have the structure, that consistency. It's learning how to implement systems so that you are visible. You're creating the sales, consistent sales, and you're creating the automation, the delivery, all the different things that you need in an online business to consistently create the clients and generate the income that you deserve. And then what happens is the authority. You become the authority when you put this together, the confidence, the clarity, the consistency. You expand into that authority, that go-to person, where you step into your voice, your visibility, and your leadership so that you become the go-to expert that your clients will trust and go to. And all of this together creates that aligned, profitable, and successful, sustainable business. And I'd like to share a story, Wendy's story. When Wendy first came to me, she had just left her role as social worker. She felt lost, unsure of her direction, and she didn't see herself as a business owner yet. She knew she wanted to make a difference, but she struggled with confidence and had deep money blocks around charging for her work. And then everything began to shift when we started working together and I took her through the Soul Advantage system. And she started clearing the internal blocks holding her back. She reconnected with her purpose and direction. And she identified her ideal soul aligned clients and created her signature system, the happiness blueprint. And now, today, she has a successful online coaching business. She's showing up as a leader in her space. She's appearing on podcasts, making money, and fully living her mission. And that's what can happen when you that's why I wanted to create the Soul Advantage system so that you can have the success like Wendy. And next, so let's go to talk about ways that sabotage can show up. And I know some of you had already mentioned them in the chat. So we have, yeah, sabotage. Uh, because I'm going to tell you, you're not human. If you, I mean, like as human beings, we're all going to have sabotaging patterns, and that's what's in the subconscious mind. But it's learning to understand where your blocks are and where they show up to block your success. So you may have procrastination or confusion, fear about visibility, or maybe there's fears of success or failure. Or maybe there's feelings of not feeling worthy or deserving or good enough to charge what you're worth. I know I had that when I first started because I had social work mentality. I was like, oh, I don't want to charge. I want to help everybody. But as we all know, that we need to be able to allow ourselves to feel worthy and deserving of charging what we're worth. And some of you may have, it's not spiritual to charge for your gifts, or maybe you don't feel confident or have the imposter syndrome. And maybe you are charging, but you're not charging enough. And that's what we do in the Soul Advantage program is we talk about all of that. And yes. So let's talk. All right, next slide. So let's do a little exercise. I'm going to give you all about a minute. Everybody breathe and answer the question. Let it flow. Don't think. This is no thinking. No thinking aloud. Let it flow because that's when the subconscious surfaces. A way I block my success is, and allow yourself to tune in to the way that may that you are blocking your success. Okay, I was going to suggest that you pop into the chat. So thank you, Lisa. Pop in the chat where you notice the self sabotage relating to your business is showing up. And Lisa, procrastination, confusion, fear of visibility, not feeling confident. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Lisa. And Monica says, I am lazy. I like my own time. I like my anonymity. Okay, thank you, Monica. Paulette, confusion, frustration with Facebook. Yeah, thank you, Paulette. And so what I want you to know is, first of all, I really want you to know I don't believe, and I'm going to hold that thought. I don't believe in laziness. So, for those of you who may think that you're lazy, I want to support you in knowing that that your nervous system, I really the people that I attract, you are all sensitive souls and you have sensitive nervous systems. And when you define laziness, so it could be a sabotaging pattern, but that doesn't mean it's laziness. And it could be that there's a balance and there is, yes, yes. And you know what? This is, Monica says, I am a worker for sure, but I love my own time. And you know what? You deserve your own time. When we're building our businesses, we need to learn the balance. There is a balance. So thank you, Monica, for sharing that, because there is a balance between being able to do the work that needs to be done and also giving yourself the time, the space for going inward, for creativity, for allowing yourself. And to me, that's not laziness. That is essential self-care. That's what I call it. Essential self-care. And yes, Lisa, perfect. Wow, I just told my friend to schedule her time to paint. Need to need to listen. Need to listen to need to listen to myself. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And listen to my own advice. Yes. And my mindset shift, I allow myself to be brilliant, brilliantly imperfect. I love that. Thank you, Marissa. And let's see. And Marissa was saying fear of judgment, failure, which leads me to be a perfectionist, a procrastinator, rushed last minute, not enough time for promotion, and remaining invisible. And again, I want you to know that all, I really want you all to know that anywhere there is self sabotage, that those self sabotaging behaviors are in that subconscious mind of yours for a reason. And in my Soul Advantage program, we talk about that. We work through it. In my class the other day, we were talking about fears of visibility. And let me tell you something, there were plenty of fears of visibility showing up. And that's what this is about. It's working through all of this. And so in the Soul Advantage system, that's what we end up doing. And what I want you to know is next. That sounds amazing. Thank you, Marissa. Once you learn the cause, and again, the awareness that you all have just received, whether it just got to another level of awareness, is all really powerful. It is a process. Exactly, Paulette. It's a process. Once you learn the cause, then you can clear the energies and make the deeper connection to your higher self and soul. And what I want you to know is that part of the Soul Advantage system that I've developed, it's uncovering and understanding those causes, like I was talking about, that sabotage your success. And what I do is I work through them with a variety of modalities like hypnosis, somatic work, and other energy clearing methods. And then after the clearing, it's making that deeper connection to that deep part of you, your soul, your higher self. And I will tell you, to me, profound confidence, because we're still on key number one, because this is a big key. This is big key. Profound confidence is coming from the deepest parts of your being, your higher self, which I feel is your future embodied self of your soul and your soul. It's the future you. So, really being able to embody that. And what happens, it's clearing that energy on that soul level. So, clearing anything that would keep you, and that could be including past lives and it could be ancestral. And I just did a couple of sessions yesterday where we had to do past life work to work on healing what my clients needed for their business. So just saying, so important, so important. Next. So let's go to key number two. So, key number two is clarity. And clarity is all about getting clear on your niche, your message, your soul aligned clients, the ones, and I really want you to know there are people waiting for you that need you. And when you know who those people are, you'll know how to grow and what you need to do to grow. And next, and part of that clarity, so Marissa asks, how do I know how do I know who's waiting for me? So you know who's waiting for you. You don't know the specific who's, but when you get clear on those clients, your niche that you're meant to serve. And what I do in my program is it's coming from that your soul. Your soul, your soul is guiding you. It's guiding you to to create that messaging, to create the the clarity that you need so that you can draw to you the soul aligned clients that are waiting for you. So you may not specifically know the who's, but it's getting the clarity. And so then what happens is you put that energy out, you put the message out, and you'll start seeing them. My soul knows. Got to tap in. Exactly. You got it. So, what happens with clarity is the strategy that you need to grow a thriving, holistic business. And without the strategy, you will have inconsistency. So, if you don't know, and a lot of holistic practitioners, a lot, you all have such big hearts. But what happens is if you are not really clear on your niche and your soul aligned clients, they may miss you. They may not be able to get that you're the one that they need. And what happens with clarity is in the Soul Advantage, what we do is we help you create the marketable offer, bringing all your gifts, all your resources into one marketable program so that people are not just buying sessions, they're buying transformation. And I'm going to tell you, I've watched the profound transformation that can happen when you create that program. And then it's learning the magnetic messaging that your soul aligned clients needs that positions you as their guide, their mentor that they need so that you can make a difference in their lives. Next. And okay, so let's talk about what happens when you don't attract those soul aligned clients. You can feel that you have to prove your value. Maybe you'll leave sessions feeling drained or depleted. You start doubting yourself or your gifts, or you'll overextend and overgive. And your business can feel really heavy and frustrating, or you feel stuck. That's when you're not in soul alignment and you're not aligning and you're not having soul aligned clients. And so now let's talk. Everybody breathe. Let's talk about what happens next with the one shift that can change everything in your business. It's getting those soul aligned clients. They're excited to work with you. They value your expertise. That's when you know you have soul aligned clients. When you are in sessions, and let me tell you, it's amazing. When I'm working with my soul aligned clients, my sessions feel exciting, fulfilling, purposeful. I'm like, whoa, I'm right on target. It feels so great. And you feel appreciated and seen for your gifts. You feel confident and clear and in your power. And your business feels easier. It feels expansive and it feels purposeful. So put a yes in the chat. How many of you would like to and be excited to work with a soul aligned clients? Maybe even three soul aligned clients. And put a yes in the chat if you want that. Yes, I see those yeses coming in. Yep. Yes, yes, yes. So we have key number three. But before we get to key number three, I'd love to hear, because we'll come back to key number three. And what I'd love to hear is pop into the chat your biggest takeaways so far. So I'd love to see your biggest takeaways so far. And we have Lisa says it's okay to want mainly work with soul aligned. Yeah, you want to work with those soul aligned clients. Yep. You definitely want to work with those soul aligned clients. Marissa says, align my energy, release the blockages, and stop the self sabotage. Monica says, I can be selective. Yep. Yep. Thank you all. Yes, your business, your choice. You choose what works for you and how it works for you. That's the power of creating your own business, especially online. And I know they are being selected. So why shouldn't we? I love that, Lisa. Yeah. That is correct. And I also, along those lines, what I also want you all to know is that when you are working, like you're in that call where you meet with potential clients, you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you, because you want to make sure that that it is a soul alignment. You want to make sure that it is a match, because and I always say trust your gut, trust your intuition, because if something feels off, then you need to trust that. So yes, definitely, you're interviewing each other and creating the match. Oh, I'm all right. I don't know why this is coming to me, but I'm the match made in heaven. I do believe that our soul aligned clients we have soul contracts, but that's a whole nother thing that I talk about. We won't go in there, but you're meant to work together, and you can feel it. You can definitely feel it. So thank you for sharing. And I'd like to share Dee's story. Dee, when I first met Dee, and she still is, and she's an RN. She's a Reiki master, a yoga teacher. But when I first met her, she felt lost, unsupported, and not really sure of her next step. She lacked the confidence and struggled with the boundaries. And what happened was she really wanted to build her business in a way that felt authentic, but she didn't know how. And then I started taking her through the Soul Advantage system. And what happened is everything started shifting for her. She built up a deep confidence and trust in herself. She started setting strong boundaries in her life and in her business. And she created her signature system, Burnout is Real. And she started enrolling, consistently enrolling clients. And then she even made the decision to open up her own yoga studio. And within 6 months of opening up her own studio, she won Best Yoga Studio. And that's the power of what can happen. And what I want you to know is what Dee did is available for you as well. So who here is ready to start or grow your business, create more income, and make a bigger impact? Raise your hand. Yes, and I see the hands coming in and the me's. Thank you. I love it. Yes, yes. Your business will only grow to the level you're willing to grow. And if your personal growth doesn't match your vision, you'll stay stuck, you'll plateau, or you'll never build what you know or what your soul knows you're meant for. And that's why I created the Soul Advantage system, so that you can build the unshakable confidence so that you can take the aligned action. Create the clarity and the direction so that you know exactly who you're meant to serve and what you need to do. And then develop the consistency to generate real results and step into your authority so your clients can choose you because they trust you. And in the Soul Advantage system, will help you to create those gifts into a clear, marketable program, attract your soul aligned clients, and build a business that is sustainable and with income and impact, but in a way, and this is really important in light of what we were talking about before, in a way that feels aligned and in balance and not overwhelming. And so if you're feeling the pull, I invite you to take the next step with me. And I said that I would share with you how you can accelerate your success. Well, I've opened up a limited number of slots, business accelerator sessions. And during these sessions, next, you can go to the next slide. Nope, go back or take it off. So you can stop the slides. So during the business accelerator session, you'll get clarity on your goals and your vision. And then we're going to create an individualized business success plan. So whether you're just starting your business or starting an online business or ready to grow your business to the next levels, we're going to go through what you need to create that business success. And then you'll also gain awareness. The number one reason that you may be blocking yourself from fulfilling that plan. And then you'll learn the next step that you need to take to manifest your vision. And if it's aligned, I'll share with you how I can support you further. And so this is your opportunity to stop trying to figure it out alone and really get the support that you need. So Allie and Lisa, you can put the link to the business accelerator session in the chat. Like I said, I've opened up a limited number of slots. And now what we're going to do, and I invite you to join me for a business accelerator session. So now let's start the slides again, and we're going to go to slide number 3. So this is key number 3 is the consistency. This is about creating that aligned visibility, getting a structure so that you're consistently creating sales, attracting the clients, and growing your income consistently. And next, what happens when you create the consistency? You're creating a consistent structure. And without this, your strategy won't convert. So you need that simple client attracting system. So what that is consistent visibility. Maybe it's posting content, doing live, speaking, outreach that brings in those consistent leads. And it's not random posting, it's intentional attraction. Then you want to have a clear sales and enrollment process. It's a repeatable way that you move your people, your soul aligned people, from interest, conversation to client, potential client, discovery calls, and then into a conversation that so that they say yes to you and they enroll. And it's in a way that feels natural and not pushy. In fact, the last client that I enrolled, she was like, "This feels so easy. It was such a wonderful conversation." And that's what I love to do, is being able to support my clients and being able to have that. And then you want to have the support systems and the back end organization so that you have the scheduling, the links, the follow up, the email, and the delivery systems that support your growth and your business in a scale without the burnout and without the overwhelm. And I want to remind you that when I'm working with you, when I'm working with clients, what happens is we're really monitoring you. We're monitoring your nervous system. What feels aligned? What feels soul aligned? Because and it's at a pace that feels doable, that feels safe for you, because this is about creating the safety in your nervous system so that you have sustainable business growth over the long run. That's what this is about. And so let's talk about, you can go to the next slide. Next slide. So why would women stay stuck in business? What happens if you don't have the mindset without the strategy, that doesn't work. If you don't have the strategy without the structure, it doesn't work. And then what I've watched is when women are trying to do it alone. They're trying to, they've got, you may got the information, you can get the information, but without that support, you can have inconsistent income, inconsistent results, and frustration. You're not seen as an authority and you stay stuck. Next. So that's why the Soul Advantage system brings together the mindset, the strategy, and the structure. And you see, like I said, that at the base of the pyramid, the base of everything is mindset. You need that confidence, the self worth, the trusting your intuition. And then there's the strategy. And that strategy is the clarity. And the mindset is the confidence, the strategy is the clarity, where you have your niche, your offer, your messaging. And then you have the top of the pyramid, which is the structure. And that is the systems that go into place to help your online business be sustainable over time. And authority, and what happens is authority is the combination of all of that together. It isn't something you chase, it happens when there is an alignment of your mindset, your strategy, and your structure. And that's what this is about. So, yes, thank you, Lisa. So, Lisa says, love authority isn't something you chase. It's what happens when your mindset, strategy, and structure are aligned. I can see this for myself and all of my clients. Yeah. And what I'd like to invite you, are there any questions that any of you would like to ask? I'm open. I love questions, so I'm open. If anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask. You can, okay, Lisa, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. So my clients are veterinarians and I'm having this is new business and I'm still struggling. And for years I've been thinking I need to incorporate my spiritual side with my science side. So
Yes.
I love doing here and I'm trying to figure out how I can add that mindset stuff into people that, and I know they're spiritual veterinarians too. So do you think it would work for a group like that?
Good question. Well, first of all, Allie, you can stop the slides. Um, so what I'm going to support you in doing, Lisa, is to look at, like right now, it sounds like you're all veterinarians. Maybe you want to focus on holistic veterinarians.
So that I was starting to think.
So that or I don't know. I would actually do a search of, like, are there a lot of holistic veterinarians? I actually happen to know of a few myself, but that may be, it's more targeted, because if you want to bring in more of your holistic stuff, and also we were talking about even before, like when we first started, is that what I love about working with holistic practitioners is we talk the same language, like we're on the same wavelength. I don't have to.
But when you were talking about confidence, though,
Yeah.
my kind of research and talking to older veterinarians, one of the biggest issues, particular female veterinarians, and I'm sure like female, co executives, is confidence. So I think,
you know
and I can talk about mindset as mindset and maybe just start without some of the spiritual words. And then maybe I'll ease in because I have to have my confidence in teaching those things too. But it's all encompassing for everybody.
yes, yes. And you know what, let me just feel into this. Yes, I definitely would support you. Okay, so this is how, see how this feels, okay? Um, so they're confident being the vet because most of them have probably been doing this for a while. Now, but if they're working on growing their own business now, or online business, or you're shifting it, they may not feel confident in that.
Yeah.
And that's where your confidence would be taught.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Yeah, that feels good. And things are changing right now for everybody, all
Yes.
businesses.
Totally. Totally.
The
Things
whatever
are
going
changing.
on in the world, things are changing. Business is high now, it's low, there's AI. So, being through business for many years, I know, you think you got it down and then things change. You're like, and when you have that, and I've had that over my life, that lacking, if everything's going great, you're fine. You feel confident. But when something changes and making new decisions, that's where the confidence can really sneak in. And if
Well,
you
the
do,
way that I do it is through the intuition,
right,
like,
right. I'm just saying in general, like for my clients and me, I've noticed you over the years, you might think you're confident in one area, or right now, the way your business is right now is when newness comes in, right? the
Yes.
unfollowing.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. That
Yeah.
is totally what happens. I mean, and I really feel like it's part of being human, you know? Like I think that most of us when we're faced with the newness, it's like you're trying to feel your way on it's like a it could be like a rocky path. And you're trying to balance yourself and find that clear path.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So that could be a way, definitely, I would support you in doing that.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anybody else have any questions or anything they want to share or ask?
Mm.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for coming and for being here. And it's so good to see all of you. And I look forward to connecting with you. Can you put the link to the Business Accelerator in the chat again before we end? So you can, thank you. We got the Business Accelerator. And I look forward to connecting with all of you more.